Alexander Korda's London film productions had kicked off the run of war films in 1939. Korda had quickly assembled the propaganda piece The Lion Has Wings, which had convinced the British government of the effectiveness of British film in the war effort. For his part, the other great early pioneer, Michael Balcon, had worked with author Graham Greene on 1942's Went the Day Well.
The Battle of Bramley End. That's what the papers called it. Nothing was said about it till after the war was over, and old Hitler got what was coming to him. Whitsun weekend it was, 1942. As peaceful and quiet here then as it is now, even though there was a war on. It was Saturday morning when those army lorries came rumbling along the road from Upton.
Alberto Cavalcanti's 1942 film about the invasion and occupation of a small English village by German paratroopers during the war. This was clearly meant to be a morale-boosting propaganda movie. And in fact, it is, but it is so much more than that. Cavalcanti and this extraordinary cast come together to present a wonderfully authentic period of rural life, of village life, everything that you could possibly sort of remember or recall or see. Everybody's friendly, everybody does things, and then they become under threat.
Films such as Went the Day Well, which is a Graham Greene story about a group of Nazi paratroopers who infiltrate a very rural British village in disguise as a group of Royal Engineers who are to be billeted there. And gradually, as the film goes on, the villagers begin to realise there's something amiss with these soldiers, and they gradually rumble that these are not British soldiers, they're German soldiers by strange little quirks. And then the film enters this very grim middle point where the villagers are rounded up, and of course at this point reports are starting to filter back from Europe about what happens to villagers who are rounded up by the Nazis. And then the villagers break out, and in a sort of heroic, almost desperate but heroic way, these British villagers turn the tables and win their village back. It's a dark film, even though it sounds like it's a great triumph of British resilience and grit. The film has a very, very dangerous, high jeopardy core, and at the end we don't get the sense that this is anything other than a group of people who've clung on for survival. It's not a victorious drum-beating film, it's a warning. This film is very much a warning. At this stage in the war, 1942, the possibility of invasion still looms, and this is a film which is saying, keep your eyes open, do not be fooled.
Ultimately, British, hugely British. And I think what was fascinating about some of the directors, and especially Cavalcanti, who was Brazilian, it took an outsider to actually see that and bring it together in such a powerful way. I mean, this is a kind of English rural version of the Magnificent Seven without the seven. It's just the villagers actually coming together and fighting on their own terms. Very violent. I mean, he doesn't pull back from the reality of what they had to do. And at the same time, at the end of it, although it's been fairly savagely worked out, you do get the sense that of great hope that British people of any condition will actually join together to fight a common foe. Fabulous piece of work.